Hello. Thank you all for joining us today for this webinar covering the latest certification scheme from BSI and IECQ, the newly launched Automotive Qualification Programme, or AQP for short. The session is planned to last around an hour and will give an introduction to BSI and IECQ, the aims and benefits of joining this certification scheme and the process involved in gaining certification. There'll be a few polls throughout the webinar and we'd be grateful if you could give feedback when they appear. There'll also be an opportunity for questions and answers at the end of the session, which can be asked via the chat window on your screens. So today the presentation will be given by myself, Paul Turner, on behalf of BSI, and we're joined by Steve Allen as well, the IECQ Business Manager. As a brief introduction to myself, I work as a global certification expert for the electrical and gas business stream at BSI. I have around 20 years experience in testing and certification of electronics and associated systems, and work with IECQ across a range of testing and certification schemes. Steve, would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yes, good afternoon all, and welcome to the BSI seminar. My name's Steve Allen. I work for the IECQ system. I'm the business manager. My experience is in the last 20 years in a electronic area, manufacturing gas detection equipment. I was involved heavily in the certification process of that for both national and international, as well as setting up second and third party auditing for our manufacturing.
Okay, thanks Steve. I'll now give you a brief introduction to BSI. So just as an introduction to BSI for those of you that maybe don't know the background, BSI has 100 years of experience spanning almost every industry sector. You may know us as the UK National Standards Body or from our work in standards creation, which we've been doing since 1901. We were the world's first national standards body and a founding member of the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO. We're also instrumental in shaping the world's most adopted standards, ISO 9001, 14001 and 18001. We have a truly global network with over 72,000 clients in 150 countries worldwide, from SMEs to global brands and governments. Finally, we're a trusted brand. We're a Royal Charter company where profits are reinvested back into our business to improve our clients' experience. To help service the needs of our clients, we have offices in 74 countries worldwide, centered around 3 regional hubs in the UK, the US and APAC, meaning we have staff on the ground in the regions of the world that you do business in. Our certification managers have many years of experience within the products you make and are highly experienced with decades of work within the IECQ system. We have local assessors, meaning they're close to your manufacturing locations wherever you are, and are helping you to remove barriers such as language and time differences. The focus of today is going to be on the AQP system, but for information on the wide range of services that we offer, more information is available at www.bsigroup.com if you want to go there and check it. Now I'll hand you over to Steve and he'll give you an introduction to IECQ and the IECQ system.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Hope that I don't have a mirror of what's happening on the presentation, so I hope that's come up. So as I said before, I'm Steve Allen, the business manager for IECQ, looking after the day-to-day operations of the IECQ system. We'll start off by a little bit of background on the IEC. The International Electrotechnical Commission, known as the IEC, was founded in 1906 as a direct consequence of the World's Fair in St. Louis in 1904, where electric energy was the central focus. The exhibits that occupied the Palace of Palace of Electricity not only used electricity in numerous different voltages, but also either direct current or 1, 2 or 3 phase alternating current, with many different frequencies and variations for connections and plugs. It became very clear to scientists that in order to build on each other's research and stimulate further development in this new technology, as well as commercialize and create the creation of the market, standards were going to be needed. So therefore why the IEC was actually founded. So the International Electrotechnical Commission is a global organisation that prepares and publishes international standards for all electrical, electronic and related technologies. These serve as the basis for national standardisation and as references when drafting international tenders and contracts. Through its members, the IEC promotes international cooperation on all questions of electrotechnical standardisation and related matters such as assessment of conformity to standards in the fields of electrical, electronics and related technologies. So the IEC have four now actually, conformity assessment systems. And the one that we're going to introduce today is the IECQ, which is the IEC's, out of the way so I can see the slides. It's the International Electrotechnical Commission's system for quality assessment of electronic components. So IEC's quality assessment system for electronic components IEC is a worldwide approval and certification system covering the supply of electronic components and associated materials and assemblies, including modules and processes. It uses quality assessment specifications that are based on international standards prepared by the International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC, or national and industry standards or specifications where an IEC standard doesn't exist, meaning that it can use local accepted industry standards or specifications as part of an IECQ specification of which product can be certified to. As a supply chain management tool, the IEC covers the design, manufacturing, assembly and distribution of electronic component parts and related materials and processes with specific emphasis on the list of items below. So active components, for example, electromagnetic components, through to passive components, printed wiring boards, wire, cable, connectors, assemblies, component modules, in other words, an assembly or a module of components, and auxiliary items such as insulators and shielding materials. So anything to do in the construction or manufacturing of electrical or electronic components and assemblies. So IECQ helping industry. The electrical and electronic products comprise many, sometimes hundreds of individual component modules and sub-assemblies. The IECQ system is about conformance, assurance and cost cutting. The well-known brand manufacturers and their purchasing managers want to be assured that electronic components used in their products are of required quality and reliability. To minimise incoming inspection costs and eliminate the quality audit of suppliers, they can choose components suppliers who hold IECQ product certification for their components. IECQ helps purchasing managers and those involved in procurement to ensure that they are getting the quality electronic components that they order from their suppliers. The IECQ helps electronic component parts suppliers to provide the guarantee that their products are of a high quality and reliability that is expected today. The IECQ provides a valuable supply chain management and control system. The IECQ eliminates the need for repeated second-party auditing of electronic component suppliers. So removing the need for multiple second-party auditing of a manufacturer from different customers. IECQ Systems Foundation is business-to-business supply chain verification tools, and there is quite a suite of tools within the IECQ system. The conformity, right from conformity, performance validation, reliability validation, and then the assurance of that conformity with continuous verification of production capabilities and integrity through quality supply chain. We have authorized distributors, and a logo and mark, which is utilized throughout the system. So quality, conformity, assurance, and integrity. So the validation of performance and reliability detailed specifications of components and or processes. Continuous verification of production capabilities and processed product to achieve an IECQ mark, which is still utilizing the CECC mark, the IECQ mark of conformity. And handling and distribution, the IECQ MOC, Manufacturer's Declaration of Conformity, marked product through a certified supply chain maintains integrity of components from supply chain to supply chain. The IECQ's value proposition is replacing multiple second-party assessments of suppliers with one IECQ supplier assessment, one third-party assessment. The benefits to industry is a saving of costs. Instead of having multiple assessments by second-party auditors, we have one third-party audit on a regular frequency. It's usually once every 12 months, but maybe twice a year, or as agreed by between the CB and the organisation, depending on the type of component. But essentially, it's the cost savings, the resource savings, because you don't have to have resources available for multiple second-party. Consistency in supplier assessment through the use of a standard set of rules and processes from all our certification bodies, all run the same set of rules. Consistency, confidence in supply chain, and verification, instant verification of any claims of a supplier of an IECQ with a live online certificate system. So the master and live certificates are online and able to be accessed through a public website and can give you instant validation of whether the manufacturer is capable and is capable of the claim that they've informed. Removal of costly duplication of testing and certification at local level. It saves costs for all, particularly because most of those testing and certification costs are forwarded to their clients. Resource savings, market access advantage with reduced delays, because we can take one set of tests, one set of certification, we can take that around the world to have local certification or conformity issued to it. Consistency in compliance and confidence in the supply chain. Confidence amongst industry, regulators and stakeholders. Confidence amongst bodies, testing laboratories and certifiers, because we run the one set of rules, one set of assessment for all our certification testing laboratories. So we have a level playing field for certification bodies and testing laboratories which are involved. The cost savings through price competitiveness and the portability of the assessment results and certificates, as they can be utilised between different certification bodies and different organisations, being a worldwide scheme. As I said, we all run to one single set of rules and operation procedures for all IECQ approved certification bodies. All IECQ CBs undergo a single assessment process based on a peer assessment. And currently all those assessments are actually led by a member of the IECQ Secretariat, so there's consistency in all assessments conducted. A single certificate format is utilised by all IECQ CBs worldwide. CBs can only print certificates from the website using the IECQ certificate format, which is set by the members. All certificates issued are issued via the IECQ online system and located in one place, public access and searching. So if the certificate is not showing on the IECQ website, then it doesn't exist. So any claims of compliance can be very, very quickly verified, validated. So the schemes within the IECQ system are many, but they're broadly split up into two specific areas. One is the approved process, so approved process scheme, and it deals with applications like electrostatic discharge. We can do moisture-sensitive devices, anything that's more of a process-based process, and including we've also now have a counterfeit avoidance program, which is a process or system-based approach. We also have some dedicated specific system approach schemes as well, which is the IECQ HSBM scheme, which again is a process-based management for the control over hazardous substances within an organisation to help manufacturers ability to declare against the RoHS directives. And then we have the IECQ avionics scheme, the ECMP, Electronic Component Management Plan scheme, which again is a system-based approach, so it fits up in the process, and it's for basically the full life cycle of components utilised within the avionics industry or equipment, right from design through to obsolescence and eventually replacements. And then we have the second major category we have is approved component scheme. So it's essentially product approval, but in the component and assembly of electronic components. So we have we have what we call a traditional, where we can certify components to a specification or standard, and that is was part of the CECC, which is well known in Europe, but which was obviously CECC and IECQ were joined together, so that the component program for approved component certification is still running today, and BSI are actually a holder of quite a lot of those type of certificates with their clients. And then we have our Automotive Qualification program, which is essentially a specified, focused subset of those requirements, and which we'll talk about a bit further, more detail today. And we have our brand new scheme, the scheme for LED lighting, which is again another product approval system or scheme, and it has the two aspects of being able to validate the component and also the control over the production of, or the continuous production of those components. And then to support all of these programs, we have an IECQ independent testing laboratory scheme, which is just a scheme where we can provide approval to an organisation's facility to do specific testing for IECQ or IECQ components. So the IECQ approved component scheme, the qualification approval, split up into several sections, several categories, I should say. Qualification approval, companies having an IECQ certificate system for the evaluation of completed components. Capability approval, which companies or organisations having an IECQ certified system covering the manufacturing process of specified components to provide conformance that each of the mass-produced items will comply with the declared standards and specifications. An example of that would be utilised in something like the PCB manufacturing area. We have our Automotive Qualification program, which we'll go into some more detail, and then there's the new program which I highlighted, which is our IECQ scheme for LED lighting. One very unique ability of the IECQ system as opposed to the other three conformity assessment systems of the IEC, and that is that the IECQ system can create and generate its own specifications to be able to certify components to. So we can rapidly react to industry and technology development, as it is a very rapid technology area in the electronics and electronic area. So while we still do have the traditional approach where specifications can be developed by IECQ TCs, qualification reliability to generic sectional detail or other IEC specifications, it is a relatively long process from start to finish. Of developing a standard, for example, is going to take you at least 5 years. With the new approach from IECQ, we have redefined the rules and the structure that we develop specifications. And we now have the ability to rapidly develop industry-based specifications to which conformity can be assessed. But some of the examples of those are components for multi-layer ceramic capacitors. Then we've got another example there for the ceramic sealed high-speed optocouplers. And then we have our two new specifications there's actually three, I've only listed two here. One's for the relative resistive touch panels for the AQP program, and then we've also just at the end of last month certified another organisation for multi-layer ceramic capacitors in two different voltage ranges. So rapid development of an IECQ component specification. The company determines the need for an industry component specification and assessment specification. The company creates a component or product specification and assessment specification according to the requirements of IECQ 03-3, which is our base rules for the IECQ approved components scheme. Upon completion, and this is usually developed between the client or the company and the certification body. They usually work together. The company develop the specification, the certification body will review, give any suggestion of where some further improvement is required or detail is required in the specification. Once the manufacturer and the CB are happy with the content of the specification, they then complete the component. The completed component specification is then formally submitted to the CB for a technical review and approval. And once the components have been through the process of being approved to that specification, and there's no more further adjustments to the specification, the specification would then be formally presented to IECQ for listing on the website. If it's a publicly available specification, then it will actually be posted to the IECQ website. So the IECQ's AQP, Automotive Qualification Program, to increase car safety and reliability via increased electronic component dependability. The IECQ AQP provides the automotive industry with an effective way to ensure that the components that they are buying meet expected quality, safety and reliability requirements. The automotive industry relies on component makers located throughout the world. Automotive electronic component manufacturers usually use their own equipment to conduct reliability tests, have different tests, may differ in the standards that they do the tests to, or standards of tests, may differ in the way the reports are formatted for reliability testing and how the information and the results are detailed and presented. So that makes it rather difficult for supplier car manufacturers that are purchasing these components, even if they're the same component, but from different manufacturers. It's very hard to sometimes compare components from different suppliers. So one test to rule them all. With the IECQ's Automotive Qualification Program, it gives the automotive industry a standardized way of testing the components to ensure their reliability. This way, automotive manufacturers know how the performance of the components compare. The results are presented in a report format, which is standardized. So one manufacturer's IECQ certificate as opposed to another manufacturer's IECQ certificate, and the supporting specification behind it are quite comparable. You can compare one to the other. So the IECQ will help the automotive manufacturers avoid multiple tests and related costs. It's very costly to have the components tested, let's say in Europe, and then tested in China or the USA. It's quite costly to have the same components retested in each region. Independent third-party certification bodies utilise the AQP program to make sure that components meet automotive industry standards worldwide. Built with assurance, the automotive manufacturing requires considerable investment, and manufacturers need to be able to demonstrate that their products will perform as expected. And the IECQ systems definitely ensure and help them to be able to do that to the industry. Certified with confidence, the IECQ AQP ensures that sampling, testing processes, testing results, along with production controls, are monitored and verified by impartial third-party certification bodies worldwide. And they're running to the same set of rules. So the way we do conduct assessments on any supplier or manufacturer is the same. So it's very consistent across the worldwide market. Saving time and money. With the program, automotive manufacturers are able to reduce the number of steps needed for international certification, because having one certificate, one set of test results that are acceptable on a global basis reduces the amount of steps to, as I said, for repeated testing in different regions. Eliminates, as I said, the duplication of testing, provides a common report formats, and real-time validation with live online certificates of conformity. So again, any claims from a supplier or a manufacturer are able to be very quickly validated with the online system. Obtain independent monitoring and verification, where there's continuous ongoing monitoring of the production line, both for their capability and for the output, as well as annual additional testing done by the organisations of the components as well. Reduced overall certification time, including for the component manufacturers, accelerated product rollout schedules, achieve easier acceptance by regulators, retailers, buyers and vendors in many countries, because it's an international, globally accepted scheme. So the IECQ's online certificate system allows the public, manufacturers, suppliers, any part of the supply chain, regulatory bodies, anybody that needs to be able to validate any claims. They've come to the public section of the IECQ certificate website. They can put in a search for the manufacturer they're trying to validate, maybe the certificate number if it's been presented, product type, a free type of text search, so anything that's related, if you want a standard or specification, these are also searchable through the IECQ certificate website. And the certificate website will show you the live and the original certificate. It'll tell you the issue dates, the expiry dates of certificates, and the current status, whether it's in current draft or a suspended or cancelled status. As I said, very quickly, the information of any supplier or certification can be validated. The IECQ certificate system is available through the IECQ website, which is found from www.iecq.org. By selecting the certificates and approvals, you'll be taken to the IECQ certificate online certificate system. As I said, all certificates are located there. They all are publicly accessible. Search features, online version is the master, and instant checking of any claims. You also note from the IECQ website that the next tab across from the certificates and approvals is the publications, and in the publications tab you'll find a list of specifications which are available. So a useful link also. So with that, thank you very much. I'll hand back to Paul.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Following Steve's introduction to the system, I'm going to give a brief overview of the process involved in gaining certification. For those of you that have already implemented a system, either TS 16949 or ISO 9001 or similar, you may well be familiar with the process in general, but there are some differences with the IECQ system, and so I intend to just go through them step by step to give you an overview of the process. So step one would be that you would make an application to BSI to be certified under the IECQ QP system, and as part of that, you'd give us details of the products you want certifying. As Steve mentioned in his presentation, we would discuss the component specification with you, of a draft specification that you'd like to be certified to show you meet. And at this stage, we'd provide you with a quotation and discuss the next steps in relation to your particular organisation in more detail. When you decide to move ahead with the process, then we'd agree timescales and move on to the first stage of the assessment, which is a document review process. It's carried out to ensure that your organisation is ready for the certification, and it covers a number of different areas, including things like confirming the scope of your product approval, so it could be one product or many products or ranges, confirming that the plant fulfills the requirements of TS 16949, as that's what the IECQ AQP system sits on top of. We'd ensure the component specification is written in a way that conforms with the relevant standards that you choose to draw on, and reflects the major production processes involved in creating the product. And we do things like check sampling plans as well, which again go towards verifying that your product meets the specification that you're claiming. Following that, the next step is an initial production line assessment, known as stage 2A in the system. It covers a wide range of different areas associated with the production of product, all the way from test equipment, staff training, competency, through design and develop to the product and the manufacturing process, validation, review, all the way through to storage and delivery. So it's quite a comprehensive review. Following that, we look at stage 2B, which is the product sampling for inspection and test. So for those of you familiar with some other quality management systems, it looks at your processes and your staff and things like that in a similar way to the production line assessment. But additionally, with the IECQ system, where we're actually going further and actually looking at product sampling, inspection line tests, sampling from the production line, from inspection lots, monitoring the approval tests that are carried out, and confirming the results so we independently verify that your products meet the claims that you're making, and that the test procedures you're following demonstrate that. Following the first two stages, 1 and 2A and 2B, our auditor would issue you with an assessment, or would issue an assessment report covering the sites. If the verdict's positive, then the process moves on to the next stage. If there are any issues identified by the auditor which prevent the issue of certification, then at this stage we'd discuss that with you and would actually go back to the first stage, the application stage. But once the issues that have been discovered have been resolved, so you can reapply. Assuming that the verdict was positive, then we would move to the next step, which is issuing the AQP certification. A recommendation for certification will be made by one of our certification managers here at BSI, and the finalised site assessment report and certificate will be issued and will be live on the IECQ website, so that your customers can see that your organisation is certified and are able to find that certification and see what it covers. Following that, this certification is a continuous process. It's a live thing. So once it's been granted, continuous assessment visits will be required to ensure that the system's been maintained and it reflects the current production and processes in line with the component specification. in the event of any changes being made, then you'd need to discuss this with the certification manager that you dealt with here at BSI, and we'd discuss with you and advise the process to maintain your certification, and make sure we follow the best way forward to keep your products and processes up to date on the system. So the next step, if you're interested in applying for certification under the AQP scheme, is really to get in touch. We'd be really happy to discuss your individual needs. There's no one-size-fits-all solution in this. The pricing and the activities are dependent on a large number of different factors. Things like locations, the number of locations you have, and the geographical locations of these, staff numbers involved in the manufacture of product, the actual product ranges themselves, and whether you've got existing QMS certification. Because we can take all these different things into consideration. Contact details for getting a tailor-made quotation to fit your needs are included on the slide below in the right-hand corner. Okay, so now we've got time for a question and answer session. So we have a question regarding what we can say about the auditing of these certificate holders. The audit process I described earlier, stage 1, stage 2A, and stage 2B, the actual process and the requirements are described in the IECQ AQP standard itself, which is available from the IECQ website. I believe that's free of charge, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, that's correct. It's available from the IECQ website, which is www.iecq.org, and you'll find it under publications. And the main rules of the programs. There's a tree of documents, and you'll find all the documents all free for download from that section of the website.
Yeah, so that details the process, and also from that you'd get an idea of things like the frequency as well, and the criteria for continuous surveillance visits too. So it's well worth, if you're interested in this, getting hold of our standards and having a read through. And then obviously for any specific questions, we can help you out.
Just if I may, Paul.
Yep.
Just we did a similar AQP seminar last week, and a lot of the audiences that we were getting were actually design house organisations, and one of the questions they had is that do we need to hold certification? And it's in the rules. It states that you must be able to demonstrate that you have the certification to 16949. So while you do need to have certification to it, you do need to have systems in place from that document, from that quality management document, in place that can be verified by your certification body. So it's just worth noting that if there are some design houses out there that are interested, they don't necessarily need to have a certificate to 16494.
Yeah, that's a good point, and obviously in that case we can plan accordingly with our assessment and make sure we take that into consideration.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
But also worth pointing out, Paul, that those specifications, the three that we mentioned in my presentation, the AQP specifications are available from the IECQ website under the publication specifications tab, and they're a useful tool to actually have a look at to give you an idea of what's involved in actually producing a specification as well.
Yeah, sure, and they are a good example of how to go about doing that. So they're quite informative documents. Okay, all right. So now really I just have to say thank you for listening. So it'd be great if you could give us some feedback on the session, and really just leaves to me to sort of say thanks for joining and goodbye.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thank you everybody for attending.